Everyone, please rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item on the agenda is in public comments or questions concerning today's agenda. We'll move on to number one, a motion to approve the May 1st, 2024 agenda. Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve April 17th, 2024 meeting minutes. Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the April 24th, 2024 conference minutes. Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve payment from the general fund in the amount of $1,962,902.99. Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve payment from the bridge repair account in the amount of $16,260.55. Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve payment from debt service in the amount of $13,322.39. Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve exonerations presented by Gina Rios, Tax Claim Bureau Director, for 39 properties sold out of the county depository between January and March 2024. Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to appoint Carly Jackson to the Care Team Coordinator in the District Attorney's Office, retroactive to April 29th, 2024. This is a replacement position. Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to hire James Popus as part-time driver in the Transportation Department for less than 1,000 hours per year, effective May 6, 2024. This is a replacement position. Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to acknowledge receipt of a letter from Ward and Lowe approving the transfer of Bruno Rodriguez from the Transportation Department to the position of full-time correctional officer in the correctional facility for a 40-hour work week, retroactive to April 29, 2024, with benefits and contributions in accordance with the AFSCME contract with Prison Bureau approval. This is a replacement position. Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to acknowledge receipt of a letter from Ward and Lowe advising the it's hired with Prison Board approval John Fedorka as a full-time treatment counselor in a correctional facility for a 40-hour work week, retroactive to April 29, 2024, with benefits after 90 days. This is a replacement position. Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to acknowledge receipt of a letter from Ward and Lowe advising he has hired with Prison Board approval the following individuals as full-time correctional officers in the correctional facility for a 40-hour work week, retroactive to April 29, 2024, with benefits after 90 days. Dylan Philibron, Jonathan Anderson Dixon. These are replacement positions. Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to hire Neil Lamont as a 911 dispatcher trainee in the 911 center for a 40-hour work week effective May 20th, 2024, pending successful drug screening results with benefits after 90 days. This is a replacement position. Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to hire Amber Taft as a 911 dispatcher trainee in the 911 center for a 40-hour work week effective May 20th, 2024, pending successful drug screening results with benefits after 90 days. This is a replacement position. Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to recess the Commissioners meeting to hold a salary board meeting. Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to convene the salary board. Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the April 17th, 2024 and April 24th, 2024 salary board minutes. Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to set the annual salary of Carly Jackson at $39,975 as Care Team Coordinator in the District Attorney's Office, retroactive to April 29, 2024. Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to set the hourly rate of Jane Popus at $15 an hour as part-time driver in the Transportation Department for less than 1,000 hours per year, effective May 6, 2024. Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to set the hourly rate of Bruno Rodriguez at $25.46 as full-time correctional officer in the correctional facility for a 40-hour work week, retroactive to April 29, 2024. Motion.
Second.
Motion and second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to set the hourly rate of John Fedorka as $19.25 as full-time treatment counselor at the correctional facility for a 40-hour work week, retroactive to April 29, 2024.
Motion. Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to set the hourly rate of the following individuals at $25.36 as full-time correctional officer in the correctional facility for a 40-hour work week, retroactive to April 29, 2024. Dylan Philibon and Jonathan Anderson Dixon.
Motion. Second.
Motion and second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to set the hourly rate of Mia Lamont at $21.36 as a 911 dispatcher trainee in the 911 center for a 40-hour work week effective May 28, 2024, pending successful drug screening.
Motion. Second.
Motion and second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to set the hourly rate of Amber Taft at $21.36 as 911 dispatcher trainee in the 911 center for a 40-hour work week effective May 28, 2024, pending successful drug screening.
Motion. Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
We need to reconvene the commissioners meeting.
First adjournment.
Yeah, we need to adjourn the salary board.
Motion?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Need a motion to reconvene the commissioners meeting.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Under old business, motion to open bids for the Pike County Jail Complex Well Number 3 Drilling and Development Project. Need a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, let's keep our fingers crossed.
Sorry.
About the
Two.
the sixth bidding process on this project.
Total price for one, $145,750.
Who is that?
I'm getting there. Lane Christensen Company, Layne Christensen Company. And the second one. $105,203 from Make Logo.
Okay. So I'd ask for a motion to table the awarding for review by the engineers until the May 15th, next public meeting of the May 15th, the Commissioner's office. Can I have a motion of that?
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, number two, motion to open bids for the leasing of approximately 80 acres of tillable fields for the purpose of planting for the 2024 growing season.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Only one, Hillcrest Farms. And the amount is $2,500 for the season.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to award that bid.
Motion to have a second.
Second.
Second, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Second is motion to authorize the chairman to execute payment application number 5 from Grant Construction for the Bennett Avenue Building 1 interior renovations project.
Motion.
Second.
Motion, second, any questions? All in favor? Aye. Number 4, motion to authorize the chairman to execute payment application number 5 from L.H. Reed and Sons for the Bennett Avenue Building 1 interior renovations project.
Motion.
Second.
Motion, second, any questions? All in favor? Number 5, I'm going to ask for a motion to table that. The documents were not prepared yet for this meeting, so can I have a motion to table number 5?
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Number 6, motion to execute the contract documents and technical specifications for the Creek Road Bridge Abutment Underpinning Project.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, under new business, motion to adopt resolution number 2411, Older Adult Month, May 2024. Any motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Ron, give me a regatta.
Resolution number 24-11, Older Americans Month, May 2024. Whereas May is Older Americans Month, a time for us to recognize and honor Pike County older adults and their immense influence on every facet of American society. And whereas, though their wealth of life experience and wisdom, older adults guide our younger generations and carry forward abundant cultural and historical knowledge. And whereas older Americans improve our communities through intergenerational relationships, community service, civic engagement, and many other activities. And whereas communities benefit when people of all ages, abilities, and backgrounds have the opportunity to participate and live independently. And whereas Pike County Area on Aging must ensure that older Americans have the resources and support needed to stay involved in their communities, reflecting our commitment and inclusivity of connectiveness. And now, therefore, we, the Board of Commissioners of Pike County, do hereby proclaim May 2024 as Older Americans Month. This year's theme, Powered by Connection, emphasizes the profound impact of meaningful interactions and social connection on the well-being and health of older adults in our community. We call upon all residents to join us in recognizing the contributions of older citizens in promoting programs and activities that forest connection, inclusion, and support for older adults.
Thank you, Ron. Robin?
Thank you.
And Tracy, are you here to speak a little bit about this, or?
Yeah, we have 5 senior centers that, we would love for everybody to visit, senior or not, to help us help them stay connected to our community.
And we are doing a reorganization of our elder task force. We're inviting people to come. We're having small refreshments and light snacks on May 22nd at 11 o'clock at the Blooming Grove Senior Center. And we will be having our annual Elder Justice Day, August 20th at the Matamora Senior Center, with more details to come.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next item is a motion to adopt resolution number 2412, Mental Health Awareness Month, May 2024.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Kristen?
All right, resolution number 24-12, Mental Health Awareness Month. Whereas mental health is an essential part of overall well-being, impacting individuals, families, and communities across the country. And whereas 1 in 5 American adults experiences a mental health condition each year, and everyone faces challenges in life that can impact their mental health. And whereas, despite its prevalence, mental health remains shrouded in stigma, preventing many from seeking help. And whereas, early intervention and access to quality care are crucial for managing mental health conditions and improving quality of life. And whereas, May is recognized nationally as Mental Health Awareness Month, providing an opportunity to raise awareness, combat stigma, and promote mental health resources. Now therefore, we, the Board of Commissioners of Pike County, do hereby proclaim May 2024 as Mental Health Month in Pike County and encourage all residents of Pike County to educate themselves and others about mental health conditions, treatment options, and available resources, challenge stigma by speaking respectfully and inclusively about mental health, seek help if they are struggling with their mental health and encourage others to do the same, support organizations that provide mental health services and advocacy, create safe and supportive environments for open conversations about mental health. Together, we can create a community where everyone feels empowered to prioritize their mental well-being and seek help when needed.
I know we have some representatives here from NAMI. Would you like to speak? Mary Beth and Edna? Come up.
Yes.
You can come up here, or you can stand wherever you want to.
Mary Elizabeth, you want to speak?
So,
Hello.
we're facilitators for NAMI, National Alliance for Mental Illness, and we're also teachers. We teach a class, Family to Family, which educates families how to respond and deal with their loved ones. We have a support meeting, which is the only support group in Pike County as of May of 21. We've had like 80 participants since then. We meet every second and third Thursday of the month at Grandma's Bakery on 739 in Lloyds Valley. And we're a support group. We're not licensed therapists, we're not counselors, but we support individuals who live and have loved ones suffering from mental illness. I myself have an adult son that's 49 that suffers from the illness. He's unaware of his illness, but he's able to live alone and take care of himself, and is trying to find another job. So there is hope. There is hope.
We provide education to high schools. We're both trained in family to family, which is an 8-week class, all the ins and outs of mental health. We are facilitators of a family support group in Pike County, and I also run a support group for people that have mental illness themselves. So it's amazing the people that reach out to us. We're very, very glad to share our experience with people. On a very positive note, I will tell my personal story. Adam is 33 years old. He lives with us, my husband and myself in Pike County. He struggled. I've seen him from the first time of crisis, and on Monday he started his first job after 5 years of not being able to work. And I am so grateful for this. This is a message of hope. Never give up. It's a small part-time job. It's provided through the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation. I reached out to them. He goes in twice a week, 3 hours each day. It's not much, but I'm so grateful that he's able to get up and get out. This is a big step. So from there, supportive housing, hopefully, so that he can learn to live independently. So the bits and pieces of a successful life being rebuilt. I'm grateful.
Thank you for advocating for that. That's a really great story. We'd like to hear that.
Yeah, it's a long journey.
Yep.
But I would also like to advocate for supportive housing. We're going to be gone, my husband and me, and we're concerned about his life thereafter. So hoping that there's supportive housing in the community where Adam can live and have an independent lifestyle when we're gone. Worry about that every day, but one day at a time.
And the crisis center in
Crisis center.
Pike County would benefit as well.
So thank you for what you do and for
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Spread the
Thank
word.
you. Number 3, motion to adopt resolution 2413, tick-borne diseases awareness into action month, May 2024.
Motion.
Excuse me, second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, draft resolution number 24-13, tick-borne diseases awareness into action month, May 2024. Whereas tick-borne diseases, which include Lyme disease as just one of the many pathogens, is a bacterial infection transmitted primarily by ticks and is caused by Spirochete, Borreliella, bog diphtheria, tick-borne diseases and disorders other than Lyme, including anaplasmosis, babiosis, Bartonella, Ehrlichiosis, Powassan, and tularemia, all of which pose a serious health threat. And whereas the Pike County Commissioners recognized the severity of this epidemic issue and formed the Pike County Tick-Borne Disease Task Force on May 20th, 2015. Whereas the frequency of diagnosed and reported tick-related diseases cases have increased dramatically over the past several years, and in 2013, the CDC released a report stating that preliminary estimates indicate that approximately 300,000 Americans are diagnosed with Lyme disease each year, and this amount is approximately 10 times higher than the number of cases previously reported to the CDC every year. Whereas the CDC study reports a disproportionate increase among children and recommends a public health action to call for an increase in targeted prevention strategies, tick avoidance, early disease recognition, and early treatment and interventions. Whereas tick-borne diseases are not always presented with the telltale bullseye, but can produce early symptoms including a rash or flu-like symptoms such as fever, muscle aches, headaches, and fatigue that can easily be misdiagnosed. And whereas a tick check should be standard practice among spending time outdoors, since residents and visitors can greatly reduce their chance of tick pathogen transmission if they take proper precaution while engaging in outdoor activities from early spring through late fall, as well as during a warmer winter season. And whereas the early clinical diagnosis and appropriate treatment of these tick-borne disorders and diseases can greatly reduce the risks of continued, diverse, and chronic symptoms that can affect every system and organ of the human body and often every aspect of a person's life. Be it resolved that the Pike County Commissioners designate the month of May as Tick-Borne Disease Awareness into Action Month, and declare a focused and determined ongoing effort to educate the public and minimize risks to benefit the overall health and quality of life of the residents of Pike County by increasing awareness of the threat of infected tick bites and the potential seriousness of tick-borne diseases. Board of Pike County Commissioners. I know we have some members of the tick-borne task force, and they're going to speak in a moment, but this started, as you see, in 2015 with many residents coming to this meeting and telling us the severity of, at that time, calling it just Lyme disease. I'm not sure many of us in this county were aware of how many people were suffering, but since that time, we have come to the point where we have an active board that meets once a month here. We ask everybody to attend, it's open, but it came to light that it wasn't just tick-borne disease, that it wasn't just Lyme disease. And that's what our educational component out of this group is, to teach people that it is called tick-borne disease. There's many other types of pathogens, as I just read some of them, pretty long types of diseases, but it's been proven that those are all caused by tick bites. I'll let Rosie and Brian speak about the task force and what they're doing and what they're doing in the future. Thank you, Rosie.
You did very well with all those diseases.
I did.
So May is Tick-Borne Disease Awareness Month. Today's resolution represents another step forward in the ongoing efforts of the Pike County Commissioners Tick-Borne Disease Task Force, which is not easy to say, to raise awareness about the dangers of tick bites and possible disease transmission. Tick-borne diseases, as they were just saying, such as Lyme disease, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, and ehrlichiosis, pose significant health threats to our community. Ticks are small, but their impact on human health can be devastating. And each year, as it was read, thousands of individuals suffer from debilitating effects of these diseases, and the numbers continue to rise. Awareness is the first line of defense against tick-borne diseases. By educating our community about the risks of tick bites, the task force is helping individuals take proactive measures to protect themselves and their loved ones. Excuse me. Simple steps, such as wearing long sleeves and long pants, using insect repellent, and conducting thorough tick checks after outdoor activities can significantly reduce the risk of infection. One of the most alarming parts of this is that these diseases are able to affect all age groups. So that includes children playing in their yards, it includes seniors who are out enjoying their outdoor activities, and no one is immune from a tick bite. That's why we must prioritize awareness, self-checks, and education across all age groups, and that's what we do at the task force. The task force is committed to raising awareness and combating these diseases, and we're always looking for individuals to help us. As you were saying before, Mickey Weiss is the person who came in and was really pushing to have this task force come together. And I was attending her support group, which was held in the library, because I too was suffering from Lyme disease. And after the meeting, I was so excited to hear that people were doing something that I went over to her and I said, is there anything I can do? And look what happened. Now I'm the chairperson of the task force, and I'm here speaking about the importance of awareness and getting the word out to everyone. Unfortunately, no matter how much we put it out there, we're not reaching everyone, because every year we're surprised when somebody comes and says, I didn't know that there were more than one disease. There could be more than one disease in a tick. And we're like, but we're doing it. We're telling everyone. So we meet the fourth Thursday of every month right here in this room at 10 o'clock. Brian, you can see Brian for more details. Please come and join us and help in this effort. One of the things that we've been able to do, we've been working with politicians and we're working with ESU. ESU does free tick testing. So if you find a tick on the dog, on you, embedded, not embedded, it doesn't even have to be a full tick, it can be a piece of a tick. If you find a tick and you want to know if it has a disease, you can send it into ESU. You can grab one of these. It's already addressed, but there is a website you can go to. It's so super simple. If you give them your cell phone number, they'll message you when they get the tick. They'll message you when they test the tick. Then they'll message you what was in the tick. They're really good about giving information, and their website has a complete list, of the results in our area and what diseases the ticks in our area are carrying. So I recommend that you grab one of these on your way out, some of these educational materials. But please, if you have the opportunity to come and join us, we're a fun group. We don't bite like the ticks do. Please join us to help.
Thank you, Rosie. So when you send the tick in, they will determine what that tick is infected with. But we want to stress that does not mean that that's what you will be in, but it's information you can give to your doctor. So you can say the tick was tested. And I know a lot of people are using that. And what we have done over the years is, I think Rosie alluded to this a little bit, we have done a test on 1,300 ticks, I think it was, and that's a number that they need to use for a case study. And what we did was we did 9 different sections of the county, and we tested those ticks in each one of them to identify, because not every region you develop the same type of tick-borne disease. Milford had a prevalence of a certain type of disease, and others had other areas. And that's just more educational material for doctors and for educators to use when they identify where the ticks are in this county. I think we're looking to do another one now. I don't think we've started yet, or we've started on the dog ticks?
It's in the final stages.
Okay, which we've done, because in the beginning we were just doing certain types of ticks, and now we've collected dog ticks to do it. And East Stroudsburg University has done a great job for us to do this. I don't think there's any charge on this, right?
No, it's free.
There isn't, so that's a really good thing. So, if you find a tick, take some of these. They don't do any good sitting in offices. They do good in your house. So if you ever get a tick on you, send it in. And it also helps the county and our task force identify, let's just hope that you're not afflicted with any type of tick-borne disease, but it helps ESU then identify, because they ask you the location of where you live. Now, we can't assume that that's where the tick came from, but it's at least a geographical location for them to know. So please use that stuff. They work really hard every month making sure they educate. The meetings are attended by a number of individuals from the community, but also we have our state legislators on there. We have the Department of Health on there. We have Penn State Extension on there. So it is the aging office is on there. There's a lot of people of different agencies paying attention to this, because it is that important of a health issue. And I will just say again, Mickey Weiss, who unfortunately passed away a few years ago, from the causes of tick-borne diseases, is the woman who drove this organization to make the county commissioners be aware of this. So,
and I'd like to just point out and thank Wayne Memorial Health Systems for having one of the only tick-borne disease specialized clinic in the country, and they are overwhelmed by people from throughout the country coming to that facility that specializes in it. And it's right in the center of the county in Lords Valley at the Wayne Memorial offices just outside of Hemlock Farms. So thank them for being involved and stepping up as well.
great. Move on to number 4. Motion to approve the following human service payment vouchers on behalf of the Office of Human Services. Whole home repair in the amount of $4,827. Fair in the amount of $13,665.50, and state food purchase program in the amount of $4,270.50.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and second. Questions? All in favor? Aye. Motion to approve the Human Services ERAP 2.0 payment voucher in the amount of $19,918.16 on behalf of the Office of Human Services.
Motion.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. I need to abstain from this, because there's some funding within that money that I happen to rent apartments, and one of my tenants is receiving some of that money. So I'm going to abstain. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye with my abstention. Number 6, motion to approve the affordable housing payment voucher in the amount of $191.25 payable to the Action Properties LLC on behalf of the Office of Human Services. Motion.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the affordable housing payment voucher in the amount of $406.25 payable to Hailstone Economic on behalf of the Office of Human Services. Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the Pike County Home Program payment voucher in the amount of $58.76 payable to the Pike County Recorder of Deeds on behalf of the Office of Human Services. Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to execute the Pike County Scenic Rural Character Preservation Program Marcellus mini grant agreement between the County of Pike and Lackawaxen Township Board of Supervisors in the amount of $25,000 to purchase compact equipment to be used strictly for development and maintenance of secondary and tertiary trails within the township.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye. And thank you, Lackawaxen, for being present and,
Well, you know how it is.
yeah, and for your leadership in the township. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what that is?
Yeah, I mean, I could.
Then we'll go on to the next one. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we have a master site plan for about 140 acres that surrounds our township building. And this grant we've used in the past, the last couple of years, we've applied for it and granted it. And we're slowly but surely building out our secondary and tertiary trails around the township, township building. So we're excited about that. And we're even thinking of, we've been in touch with forestry, and we may be erecting a fire tower soon to attract more hikers and more people to enjoy the forest.
Great. Thanks.
Please. Your name?
Mike Encino.
The Township Supervisor. Okay, next one is motion to execute the Pike County Scenic Rural Character Preservation Program Marcellus mini grant program between the County of Pike and Milford Borough Council in the amount of $9,763 for the Barkley Park and Riverfront Park project.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Maria, would you like to speak to a little about that?
Sure. This is just to put a fence around Barkley Park. We have an existing fence there. That's our beautiful overlook park. The fence is, well, actually the surrounding area is moving a little bit closer in. We need to move the fence back and make it safer. We are also planning to put some steps down on our riverfront property. It's our only riverfront access, and it's very difficult to get to at this point, so we want to make it accessible for everyone to be able to enjoy that beautiful spot. And we want to replace a picnic table that is somewhere in Philadelphia, I believe, at this point, after the most recent storm. So thank you very much. We appreciate that, and on behalf of the Garden Club as well, because we will be working with them to finish this project.
Number 11, motion to execute the Pike County Scenic Rural Character Preservation Program Marcellus mini grant agreement between the County of Pike and Lackawaxen Township Board of Supervisors in the amount of $20,640 to create 2 new secondary trails and install signage according to the Sunrise Park Master Site Plan. Motion.
Second.
Motion was second. All in favor? Aye. So I think I should just explain so everybody knows where this funding comes from. So every year, the county gets, and this has been going on since 2012, this is the, as it says, this is the Marcellus shale dollar. So we don't have any wells in our county, but what we get is we get an allocation from the state every year, on average of about $50,000. Some year it changes. In fact, just in 23, it was $71,000. What we do with that money is we then share it with our municipalities through these mini grant programs. And what we ask for, I believe, is that 50% of the project is paid for by the municipality, the county pays the other. Am I correct?
Yes,
Yes.
that's correct.
Yeah, there she is. Sorry, Jess, I thought you were here. Yes. So just so we understand where that money comes from, and we offer it to every municipality, but it goes through the scenic character, the SRCP board, because we need some board that can vet through the applications. So it's not really SRCP funds, but we've given them the task to do that. So it's really welcome funds for the townships. Okay, number 12, motion to approve the fiscal year 2024 first quarter payment from the Pike County Emergency Medical Service Matching Grant Fund to Blooming Grove Township in the amount of $2,217 and Porter Township in the amount of $8,000.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and second. Any questions? All in favor? Okay, we're going to miscellaneous, and as every month, every meeting, we have the Penn State Extension calendar of events. Please take note of those. Robin, you are, and Tracy are on the agenda. You have more to?
Nope, we're done.
Okay. Okay, and just before we go to press and public comment, 2 things I just want to announce. So, first thing is the Veterans Center has moved from Milford. The Veterans Center is now located up on Route 6, right next to where planning office used to be, next to workforce development. On June 1st, we're going to be having a grand opening of it. It's a beautiful space. We're going to invite veterans organizations there. It's going to be what we'll call an American picnic on June 1st. We welcome everyone to please come recognize our veterans. We felt it was important that we expand our offices, and we are continuing to expand veteran services. To give you an idea, Josiah Schrader, who is the VSO, Veteran Service Officer, last year was able to acquire $8 million worth of funds for our needed veterans in Pike County.
Wow.
This year he's on the to move it to $12 million. We're just getting ready to hire somebody else to put in his office. Fortunately, the woman that was working with him was very dedicated, moved on to a different role in veteran services in the state. But we're going to continue to move this forward. You know, what we do in veteran services in this county, we have a large percent of veterans in this county, young and old. Many of them need services that deal with, and we're here on Mental Health Day, they need just as much help with mental health as everyone else. I don't know if any of you saw 60 Minutes this last week, talking about the whole thing with PTSD and how it moves from, it is almost contagious when it's in a household like that. And they talk about children who suffer during the time where their parents come home from a tour in Afghanistan or wherever they are and dealing with the horrific natures of being in the military. That's what we're looking to accomplish here in Pike County. We want to be able to make sure that these services are located in this county. And many veterans have told us when they meet Josiah Schrader, who is a veteran, he is a dedicated individual to this. He takes this extremely serious, and he makes sure that everybody gets what they well deserve when they serve in the military. So I just want to announce that. We'll continue to announce it. There'll be a press release about it June 1st, 2024, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. There'll be hot dogs and hamburger and some light refreshments. But it's important that you come up there and support them. I know the veterans really, they really like the space. They used to be, if you remember, located next door in the Penn State building, which served many years, but it was a small confining space. They need to have their own space where they can have privacy and they can deal with the issues at hand. So there's that. The other thing I want to announce is, and this is, I know maybe you've seen this, it's called the Oliver McIntyre Charity Golf Outing. But what this is really about is, this is a golf outing where every bit of the funds going to this is going to go into the Pike County Emergency Service Initiative Fund. You've heard us maybe here talk about the Initiative Fund. This is a fund that was started probably 3 or 4 years ago with generous donations of different people in the community and has grown. What this does is this allows for the free training of any resident of this county who wants to become an EMT. They can go up to the EMT, the 911 center, and become a certified EMT. All we ask them to do is to be connected with some type of fire service in the county, so that when we know this has happened, when many of them go through the training, and the next thing you know, they're either volunteering or they're being hired as EMTs in our county. This is one way for us to make sure that we have qualified people in our county to make sure that when we all need an ambulance, there's somebody on it that's going to come here that's trained. So if you're a golfer, go golf. If you're not, you want to be a sponsor, send them a check. Every bit, 100% is going to this fund, which right now that fund is, I just got the statement, I think it's somewhere in the range of $90,000 to $100,000. And we're going to continue to fund that to make sure that if anyone needs to be trained, they can do it. And it's all done locally. As I say, years past, the training for that, the individuals had to travel to Northampton County. So it was even that much, and pay for it. So it was that much more difficult for them. Now it's paid for and it's done within the county. So I'll pass that along to everybody you know. And if you don't golf, go learn. I play golf, but I really don't know how to play golf. So then we go to press and public comments. Okay.
Can I go to the podium?
If you like.
Yeah.
State your name.
John Hellman. Hell and then man. So hi, my name is John Hellman. I am a former Vice President of Advocacy for the Traverse City Pride Center. I'm current President and co-founder of the Zimmerman First Democrats, Pike County's first Democratic club dedicated to fighting on LGBTQ issues. And I'm a local drag queen. And I am here to state my intention that later this afternoon, on behalf of the LGBTQ community, we will be submitting, once again, a request for the Pike County Commissioners to acknowledge June as LGBTQ Pride Month. This year, we're expanding our focus. Concurrently with our request to the Pike County Commissioners, we're actually going to also ask every municipality in Pike County to do the same. we'll be circulating a survey for every Pike County resident to sign on to show their support of recognizing Pride, and we are already working on getting local elected officials and businesses to sign on as well to show the groundswell of support, especially after what happened last year. We're doing this again because it's really important for 3 reasons. Recognizing Pride acknowledges the long history of LGBTQ people and allies in Pike County. We have all heard probably of Marie Zimmerman and James Mills Purse. Marie Zimmerman lived here in the early 1920s with her partner, Ruth Allen, and there are many articles that you can find that show that the community not only supported them, but they accepted them. And as early as 1897, James Mills Purse and the Purse family, who have houses and residences here in Pike County, he wrote under a pseudonym that, quote, "We ought to think and speak of homosexual love not as inverted or abnormal, but as being in itself a natural, pure, and sound passion," which for 1897 is unheard of to see that kind of a bold statement in support of LGBTQ folks. Not only do we have support from as early as 1897, in 2010, and it's been true since then, Pike County has been noted as the county with the most same-sex couples per capita than anywhere else in the Commonwealth. And we also have the Tri-City Pride Center, which next year will be celebrating 20 years of existence, located here in Milford Borough, serving the rest of Pike County and the surrounding regions. It's also really important to acknowledge that doing a Pride resolution now in the present would save lives. It's funny to acknowledge a National Mental Health Awareness Month, and I think my friends from the National Alliance of Mental Illness would agree that the homophobia and transphobia that is increasing drastically over the last few years because the Republican Party is using LGBTQ life as a political football has increased suicidal ideation, it's increased anxiety, it's increased depression, it's increased mental illness and physical illness all across the board for LGBTQ youth and adults. So not only does this acknowledgement honor people who live here, it will also save lives. And I can't, one of the strange things about being sort of a visible LGBTQ figure is that people will private message me on social media telling me that they had no idea that there were others like them. And I've lost count of all of the youth that cannot wait to leave because of the lack of acknowledgement and the tacit acceptance of homophobia and transphobia in this county. So if you want to keep our children here so that they live here and contribute here to our local economy, I would suggest that you do it this year. And it's important to acknowledge that this is for the future of our county. 1 in 5 people in Gen Z identify as LGBTQ. And according to trends dating back from baby boomers, statisticians believe that this rate is doubling by generation. So LGBTQ life is here to stay. It is growing because information about self-acceptance and self-love and love of each other and being able to live your life according to your own gender identity is out there. We can't put the genie back in the bottle, and more people are acknowledging this as a result. So I would say, as Pike County Commissioners, it's your responsibility to acknowledge people that live here, people that want to stay here, and the people that will live here past our time, when it's a new generation of leaders, a new generation of business owners, a new generation of residents who more and more are identifying as LGBTQ. And the last thing I will say is we had a lot of opposition last year, and the opposition informed, I think, part of the reason why it was not voted against. And I will just point out that as I sat there being called a pedophile for about an hour and a half, and having people say that they were going to do a Love and Kindness Day, a Love and Kindness Month, I must have lost my invitation in the mail because I don't think that happened. So you can either side with an opposition that's acting in bad faith and just trying to oppose people that they don't care to understand, or you can support a community that is asking you for a lifeline, not to support legislation, not for money, not to set anything up, but to acknowledge something that municipalities have been doing since the 1990s. So I look forward to working with you to get this done. You'll be getting an email later this afternoon, concurrently with all the other municipalities that are also going to be getting emails requesting their support. And thank you for the time and space.
Okay, thanks, John. Anyone have anything else? Good.
you tell me how you feel about the expected proposed resolution for recognizing Pride Month, Matt?
I will wait to see what it says. I support everybody, as I've said last year in this community. I think this is about unity with everybody, not just one group of people. I'm concerned, and I'm gonna be honest with you, that's gonna cause, as I said last year, whether you agree with me or not, doesn't matter, that's gonna cause more hostility than we need, because I think people are accepting. I've said in a meeting not very long ago, I've lived here for 50 years. I worked in a local business for 35 of those years. People that are different lifestyles have come into that business and they continue to come into that business. No one was ever treated anything differently. And I think that's true in the community I live in. I'm not saying that there isn't hate in this community. I'm just not sure. I'll wait and see what the email says and we'll go from there. But that's my thoughts on this right now.
Krista, would you like to say something?
Well, first of all, John, thank you for coming in and speaking out and making the request. I have not yet seen the email nor the contents of it, but I've made it clear before, and I'll make it clear again, that I am in support of any community or any individual, any human being that needs to be affirmed. There's no reason why in 2024 we have to have a question about whether or not we support individual identity and space. And for me, it's just as simple as that. That's it. So I look forward to seeing what it says and happy to have a dialogue on it.
Last year, here in this room, what happened is that there were quite a few people in here, and one of the things that came to pass was that you decided to table this. At that time, there was, I guess, the idea that this was going to be reintroduced and re-looked at. That hasn't happened. One of the things that you guys have talked about is the fact that you don't necessarily want to identify or give credence to one specific group. It's more of the unity in the community, as this group here in Milford was called. But realistically, one of the things that happens throughout the year is there are all types of recognition months. For instance, May is Military Appreciation Month. February is Black History Month. March is Women's History Month. March is Irish Heritage Month. September 15th to October 15th is Hispanic Heritage Month. This month is Older Americans Month, which I am one of. There is, in May, is Jewish American Heritage Month. October is Italian Heritage Month. So I could go on and on and on ad nauseum. So you have the opportunity to recognize June as Pride Month, like many, many, many municipalities have throughout the country. What's holding this county back, really?
You go.
Sure, and I don't think how I personally handled it last year was the very best. Honestly, I was caught off guard a little bit and reacted before I could dig in and kind of study what the reaction from the community. To tell us we have two choices is disrespectful. I don't agree that we just don't have two choices. I think if anybody knows me, I run businesses, I employ people of all types, and we have customers of a broad range of people. And I would consider myself a kind individual. But this is something where we're elected by the people of Pike County, and we're elected to represent them, and we're elected to represent how they would do it themselves to some extent. And yes, I know being a leader, you're held a little bit above that, but I do want to look at, I haven't seen what's being sent. I do want to look at it. I do want to continue to give it some thought. We have continued to be in contact with law enforcement to see if the hatred in the community is developing into dangerous situations. We've continued that dialogue throughout the year since that. And that'll be a part of the evaluation in moving forward. I said last year that putting this resolution in place last year, I felt that it created some unrest, and that people may not understand or believe that, but as a leader, I'm elected to try to not have that unrest and to serve all of the people. So I will look at it. I will certainly give it my full attention, and then I'll respond at that time.
I would like to just say one more thing. I have the utmost respect for my colleagues at this table, and I do look forward to having, an open and honest discussion about this topic. But I would just say, as an African-American woman, I think back to the courageous people in the 50s and 60s and decades before that, that stood up and would not allow my ancestors or my family members who came before me to be treated differently or to be treated inhumanely because of the God-given color of their skin. And so I am just hoping that this community, it goes beyond this room and it goes beyond this table. It even goes beyond us as commissioners. At some point, we have to recognize the humanity in one another. And there should not be a time where people have to come into any space and ask to be affirmed or respected. We just should not be at this point in 2024.
Does that mean that you'll vote to identify or to recognize June as Pride Month in Pike County?
I will absolutely make that vote, yes.
I'd like to say a few words if you all wouldn't mind.
Sure, go ahead.
My name is Janine Sessa. I'm a member of the board of Tri-City.
Could you spell your first name and last name, please?
Yes, it's Janine. Sessa is S-E-S-A. And I'm first of all invite you all to come in when we have open hours and have some coffee and have a chat. I appreciate John and his words. I apologize to the three of you because I know you've heard me speak before at the Greater Pike Foundation workshop. I think it's important to talk about visibility, okay? And I think it's important to look at, if you look at the areas where young people have killed themselves because they've been bullied in school or where have you, and there was no recourse to that bullying. Now I agree and I recognize that you are all good people and you're working for our county and everyone in our county. But visibility is important. If you look at where these things are happening, it's because there have been laws enacted, anti-trans laws, and other laws, like they have to use the bathroom that's on their birth certificate or what have you. These kinds of anti-laws is a message to other people that treating them as less than is okay. And so I think in terms of commissioners or government or townships, it's important to lead and to say, okay, we're going to acknowledge this group, because then that sends a message that says, no matter how you feel, we're all going to just treat each other civilly. I'm not expecting anyone who doesn't agree with my lifestyle to embrace me. I don't. I grew up in a very loving family, unbelievably loving, unbelievably supportive, and I still had self-loathing growing up, and I still considered suicide at a few times in my life, wholly around my identity and where I fit in society, because the societal messages are so strong that they can override all that love and support at times. But I'll tell you, the reason why I'm standing here is because all that love and support gave me a sense of self and gave me that extra whatever it was to not follow through. And so I think when we make resolutions like this, you're not telling everybody that they have to love us. And yes, some people are going to have their feathers ruffled or what have you. But it's a message that says, we're not going to tolerate, overt hate. You want to feel it in your heart, fine, okay? But, so visibility, this is all about visibility. And the young people who are feeling alone need to have that visibility. They need to see, hey, there's an old fart who's still here. I can still be here, right? And I don't know what else I want to say other than I'm not wearing this to upset people. I'm actually going to go open the center. I'm going to sit there for a few hours for whoever can come in. And when a young person comes in and sees all the rainbows and the flags on the table and the stickers and the pins and all the little whatever they can take home, and they have this look of awe on their face and just joy, and a person came in and said, it was a 16-year-old, what is this place? What is this place? With a sense of like, oh my God, here is a place I can come in, I belong. And this is a person who left school, who is now doing cyber school. And the reason why so many LGBTQ students do cyber school is because they are not getting the support they need against the bullies in school. I thank you very much for your time and everyone for listening.
Thank you.
Hi, yes, first of all, thank you for everything the three of you do. It's a difficult job, I know. One of the things you did today was read a couple of resolutions. One was for elderly individuals and about acceptance and inclusion of that group. One of them was for individuals with mental health and acceptance and inclusion of that group. Even ticks got their moment in the sun today. We have a group here that is simply asking to be recognized as a part of our community, and I think to do otherwise would be doing a great injustice, and I hope that decision weighs heavily on you and you take it to heart and make a decision that I think would benefit our entire community. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Hi, my name is Joanne Wilson, and I didn't come prepared to say anything. I came prepared to listen. And I want to thank John for speaking up and asking for the resolution, and for other members of our community who feel much the same way but perhaps couldn't be here to support and other obligations. I think that, as Janine said, visibility is very important to our community. To live your life invisible and wondering if somebody's going to figure it out because they're going to act out against you is not the way any of us want to live our lives. As my wife eloquently said, there's so many youngsters growing up and are a part of our LGBTQ community and don't feel the support in the schools, get bullied because of their presentation or the way they communicate or what they're presenting to others. And it's just sad. And I think that deciding a resolution over whether we think there really is hate brewing or not, like nobody decided those resolutions for other communities. Forgive me if I'm wrong in my statement, but if I was a person of color standing here asking for the resolution in that month, no one would bat an eye. They would probably bring that forward. And we are one of many communities in the rainbow of communities that exist in the United States. And if I remember right, the whole don't ask, don't tell situation was long outlawed, that we're not expected to live under the we can't say what we're about, we can just be kind of under the radar. I live my life under the radar. I married my spouse, I'm proud. I have a loving family that supports me as well. I think that's why the two of us can come to things and feel stronger than some other people do. But I want to help everybody. I want to help those that are crying, those that need a hand to hold them up because they don't know what to do. Those that the parents have kicked them out of the house and said you can never return because we don't like you anymore. You're not one of us anymore. I mean, there's so many stories that I could tell. I'm a retired registered nurse, worked through the County Community Health Center in New York, and we had outreach to young teens who were kicked into the streets and living homeless because their families rejected them over their LGBTQ identity. And in this nation, we shouldn't be making an us and them situation. We need to pull together and be all of us. And whether it, like Jean said it, whether it ruffles a feather or not, we all have to come to terms with all of us. And there are many of us that don't agree with all the opinions in this room. But we learn how to sit civilly in our chairs, and we learn how to share dialogue. And we recognize that not everybody's going to agree all the time, but we can all be civil and respectful and kind to one another and express love and be there for one another. And that's what this kind of a proclamation is, saying, we know that this community is present, we acknowledge you, we know you're here and being supportive. And I don't know what else to say. I just feel it in my heart that it's just the right thing to do. And we need to get past the ideas that we're gonna bother other people, because as many marginalized groups have done over the years, standing up. I mean, women themselves stood up for the vote and got knocked down for that. Like, I can't even believe. I read a recent article where a woman of my age group couldn't even have a bank account. And yet now we've moved further, okay? You know, like we've moved that further. So let's move it all further. Let's all get to the same place. Let's all get this moving forward together as a community.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
I think I would just like to say, support everything everyone else has said. Commissioner Schmalzi said he needs to do research and see what the statistics are and all of that. And John pointed out in his statement that Pike County has the most same-sex couples of any county in the Commonwealth. That should be where your research begins. And then on top of that, we should ask, why can we not acknowledge a simple group of people who lives in this county, participates in your businesses, participates in everyday life while worrying if another banner's going to go up on the mountain, or if someone's going to throw another rock through my window, or steal my rocks and flags, or generally just create fear and concern that you guys say you're not aware of. So please, in that research, consider everything everyone's already told you. Can you please state your name? Lisa Jenkins, former board member of Diversity, Vice President of Zimmerman First Down.
Okay, thanks.
Yellow came a little late, but I'm only, I was it. My name's Christina Vigo from Newfoundland, PA. I am so glad to be hearing all of the proclamations and reservations that we've set in our hearts. I'm not going to come up here and call anybody good, because honestly only God is good, but we pledge allegiance to a flag. We pledge allegiance to God, I would imagine, even through that proclamation to the flag, because it says that we serve under one God. My thing is, it's great to have a focus, but I'm nervous that when we set these boundaries, or not boundaries, but walls, names, labels, you know, I come from the least of these, so I don't have the family supports. I don't have the resources that many may have, and because of that, others may view that as disadvantages or shortcomings. And my concern is that we make everything clear, and I struggle with that myself with a bunch of thoughts. I know that Jesus came for all people. He didn't look at the skin color. He didn't care about sexual orientation. In fact, he even defended someone who was about to be stoned due to the speculation and allegations of their sexual orientation. Jesus came for the least. I think what we should set clear for you guys is we understand what your responsibilities as commissioners is, what you guys will be funding that helps our community. Not just this community or that, but we should be looking out for our neighbors. And again, I am loving the love that is pouring out on this podium, the cry for love from the powers and authorities that we've elected over our community. And we ask that you do your diligence as single people, not just of a class or of a clique or a group that's protecting whoever, but as men and women individually accountable to God. Yous will stand there. And if there's things that maybe yous are turning a blind eye to within our community, any hatred or abuse of power coming from authorities that have been set above us and elected, yous will all be held accountable to God. So what we're asking is that everybody consider just themselves, not what group they're a part of, not who they're representing, but themselves before God. And are we treating our neighbors with love? Are we protecting our children on a real base? on a real basis, not what it says in a document, not what it says on paper, like these guidelines or standards that we built, but not because of sexual orientation, not because of whatever that others may deem us as. But is it just pure love? And I love you guys.
Anyone else? Okay.
Motion.
Motion to adjourn? So done.
Thank you all.
We're done at the second. Thank you all.